Hey everyone, welcome back to episode 6 of our 7-part series, #SayItOutLoud. We are officially in the second to last episode, which is honestly crazy because it feels like we just started this journey yesterday. If you've been listening since episode 1, thank you for sticking with us and being part of this conversation. And if this is your first time here, welcome! We're so happy you decided to spend some time with us today.
Welcome back, everyone. Over the last few episodes, we've talked about some really personal things. We've talked about saying I'm fine when we're not, the pressure of school and burnout, friendships, self-esteem, body image, and learning how to be kinder to ourselves.
And as teenagers, we're in this strange stage where we're trying to figure out who we are while still living under rules that were created by other people.
It's like you're trying to become your own person, but you're still asking someone else if you can still go out with your friends.
Exactly. It's a weird balance between independence and needing support. And today we're talking about family relationships, expectations, communication, and how to create your own sense of peace even when family dynamics feel complicated.
And because family is such a personal topic, we wanted today's episode to just be us. No guests, no outside opinions, just two friends having an honest conversation about something that almost everyone experiences every day. But before we get into the serious stuff, let's start with our icebreaker. Amaya, what is one completely normal thing your family does that somehow becomes a whole dramatic event?
Oh my gosh, okay, I have one. Every single time my family decides we're going somewhere, there's always one person who cannot find something. Like we could have planned to leave at 5 o'clock. Everyone's ready, shoes are on, they're standing at the door, and then like my aunt or something could say, "Has anyone seen my keys?" And then the entire house turns into a detective agency.
That is so real.
And the funniest part is that 5 minutes later, the keys are always somewhere obvious, like sitting right at the table, and I have to go find them.
The keys are always somewhere they already looked.
Exactly, and everyone's blaming everyone else, like it's a mystery crime documentary.
Okay, mine is definitely family group chats, because why is every family group chat either completely silent for 3 days, or suddenly has 75 messages in 10 minutes?
Yeah, I get that.
My family will randomly start sending pictures, random updates, jokes, and then someone who doesn't understand technology will accidentally send the same message like 6 times. And somehow everyone responds to that one message instead of the actual important thing.
Honestly, those little things are what makes families families. They can drive us absolutely crazy, but sometimes those little annoying moments are also the things that we laugh about later.
Exactly. Families are complicated because they're made up of real people. People who love us, frustrate us, understand us, and sometimes people who don't understand us at all.
I think one of the hardest parts about growing up is realizing that your relationship with your family changes as you get older. When you're little, your parents or your guardians make almost every decision for you. They choose your schedule, your activities, what you eat, and where you go. But then you become a teenager, and suddenly you have your own opinions, your own goals, and your own identity.
And that's where things can get complicated, because your family might still see you as a little kid they raised, but you're starting to see yourself as your own person.
Exactly. And sometimes that creates conflict. Maybe you want more independence. Maybe your family has expectations about you, like your grades, your future, or your friendships. Maybe you feel like you're constantly trying to prove that you're responsible.
And pressure can become really overwhelming, because sometimes it feels like you're not just trying to succeed for yourself. It feels like you're trying to succeed because you don't want to disappoint anyone.
That is such a heavy feeling. And I think a lot of teenagers understand that feeling. If I mess up, everyone's gonna be upset. Or if I'm not the best, I'm letting people down.
And something else that can be difficult is when you try to explain your feelings and you feel like people don't understand. Like you say you're stressed and someone responds with, "You're young, you don't have that much to worry about."
That can hurt because yes, teenagers might not have the same responsibilities as adults, but that doesn't mean our emotions are not real. Stress about schools, friendships, and the future, identity, and figuring out who you are can feel incredibly overwhelming.
Sometimes you don't need someone to fix everything. Sometimes you just want someone to listen and say, "I understand why that feels hard."
And I think it's also important to remember that every family looks different. Some people have huge families, some have small families, some have one parent, grandparents, siblings, or guardians. Some people also have very close relationships at home. Some people have relationships that are more difficult. There's no single normal family.
And whatever your family situation looks like, your feelings about it are valid.
So the big question is, how do you create peace for yourself when you can't control everything happening around you?
I think one important thing is learning what belongs to you and what doesn't. You can love your family and still recognize that their emotions are not always yours to carry.
That is such an important point. Sometimes we absorb everyone else's stress. If someone in the house is upset, we immediately feel responsible. If there's tension, we feel like we have to fix it. But sometimes it's okay to step back and remember this situation exists because I don't have to let it consume me.
Another thing that helps is creating your little moments that feel like your own. Your own space, your routines, hobbies, maybe it's even reading before in bed, listening to music, drawing, writing, going outside, anything that really just reminds yourself like who you are as a person.
And communication matters too, but timing matters more. Try to explain your feelings in the middle of an argument usually doesn't work because everyone is already emotional. Sometimes the best conversations happen during a calm moment.
And instead of saying, "You never listen to me," try saying, "I feel like I'm having trouble being heard and I want to explain how I'm feeling."
It sounds simple, but changing the way we communicate can completely change the conversation.
But we also have to acknowledge something important. Not every situation can be solved with one conversation. Sometimes family relationships are genuinely difficult. And if you feel overwhelmed by things happening at home, reaching out to someone you trust can be really important. A counselor, teacher, mentor, friend, or like any trusted adult that can give you support and remind who you are that you don't always have to handle everything alone.
Asking for support is not a weakness. Sometimes it's the strongest thing you can do. And if you're listening right now and home feels complicated, I want you to remember something. You're allowed to grow, you're allowed to change, and you are allowed to become your own person. Growing up doesn't mean you have to stop loving your family. It means that you have to love yourself while also loving them.
And your identity is not just your identity is not just your role in your family. You are not only someone's child and you're not only someone's sibling. You are a whole person with your own dreams, thoughts, feelings, and future. So for this week's challenge, we want you to create a little bit of space for yourself. Take 15 or 20 minutes and do something that makes you feel like you. Not something you're doing because someone expects it, not something you're doing because you're pressured. Something that is yours.
Maybe listen to your favorite song, take a walk, write down your thoughts, read a book, organize your space, sit outside. Do something that reminds you, I'm my own person.
And also, if you can, try one small moment of connection with your family this week. Maybe ask someone how their day was. Maybe sit with them for a few minutes. Maybe appreciate one little thing they do. Because families can be complicated, but small moments matter too.
Next week is our final episode of the campaign. We'll bring everything together, reflect on what we learned, and talk about reaching out during the hardest moments.
Until then, protect your peace, give yourself room to grow, and remember,
sometimes the hardest part is just saying it out loud. Okay guys, so if you need help with that, just know that our app, which is upcoming in a few weeks, it's gonna help you track your habits. It's gonna help you regulate your breath, regulate your thoughts, and it's honestly just a really good habit tracker. So I'm gonna link it in the description, so you should totally check it out.
Until then, check your dashboard, take care of your system, and remember,
sometimes the hardest part is just saying it out loud.